What's up, guys? It's Sebastian here. I'm enjoying a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Istanbul. We're on the shores here on the Asian side. Just got dropped off by my buddy. Be walking around, exploring a little bit. I thought I'd put a quick video together because, first off, if you're not familiar with me, I had a different channel and I recently started this one up because the other one, I believe, was shadow banned. So we're doing this now because we really want to focus in on sales, on mindset, online business, all that jazz. Got a couple of things to say. One thing is the comparison game. When you start to get into this, you're going to be exposed to all sorts of different people who are making, or at least claiming to make, certain amounts of money. And it can be pretty discouraging when you see, wow, this person made 20K in 2 weeks, or holy crap, this guy made 100K in a month, or whatever it is. Excuse me, still a little bit sick. And you'll think to yourself, geez, I'm nowhere near that level. I mean, it's gonna take me years to accomplish that. And you know what, it very well might. Usually, you're gonna have to develop some serious skill and quite a network to get to a level where you're able to pull in 5 or even 6 figures a month take home. But it is possible, and it can be possible for you quicker than you think. Now, this morning, I like to keep tabs on certain people. Doesn't mean I necessarily follow them on social media, but I'll search up their name here and there and kind of see what they're up to. One guy in particular, I worked with him at the beginning of this year on a real estate wholesaling offer. I saw him come in maybe 2 or 3 weeks after I'd initially gotten hired, and he totally wiped the floor. I think he brought in 170K cash collected within 2 weeks, his first 2 weeks. And I thought, okay, this guy has skill for sure, because I was struggling to close deals. And that's kind of what prompted this video, because for much of this year and last year, as I've gotten to see more people in this space, specifically high ticket closing, and understand how much money you can really make, but then also shed some light on the fact that I have not been making as much as I want to. Just thinking, well, what are they doing that I'm not doing? What do they have that I don't have? Why are they succeeding and I'm not? Now, in a perfect world, none of us would want to go through this kind of introspection. We'd all love to just jump into an opportunity, have it work out immediately, start making a bunch of money, and then great. Everybody is happy. But I see it as a blessing in a way, because if I wasn't going through this right now, I wouldn't be able to sit down here and relate to many of you and kind of present my take on it. And more importantly, present some solutions, because that's what we really want. That's why many of you even watch these kinds of videos, because you want actual tangible help and getting from frustration and struggle and a state of failing over and over again to, hey, I'm finally closing some deals. Hey, I'm finally making some money. Hey, I finally feel confident. I finally feel like, hey, I'm succeeding. I'm actually making it work. And it's a process. Sometimes you might question yourself and you'll think, well, maybe I'm not cut out for this. That's often what I thought, especially after seeing this guy. He's, I think, a former football player in college or something, obviously in great shape, and has a very masculine, strong kind of personality. And that was never really me. Again, if you haven't looked at my other channel, I was always pretty introverted. I spent a lot of time in my youth playing video games, reading, staying at home, not socializing very much at all, because I just didn't like people. And to this day, if I'm being very honest, I still don't really like people in general. Individual people are okay once I get to know them, but I tend to be pretty pessimistic when it comes to dealing with people. Now, that in and of itself might be detrimental. If you're dealing with people in business, you are dealing with people. But at the same time, again, it gives you perspective. So where am I going with all of this? I took a moment this morning after taking a look at what this guy's up to again and thinking to myself, this guy is not better than me. First of all, we have to acknowledge he's been in sales for much longer. In addition, after having watched some of his videos and hearing him share about his family history, his own father was in sales and was telling him about how powerful this stuff can be from an early age. Contrast that with me, and maybe even some of you can relate to this. I grew up hearing that sales is bad, and that salespeople are scum, and that salespeople produce nothing of value. To an extent, I actually still agree with that. If you compare a sales guy to an artisan, someone who works with their hands and creates something tangible, then if the apocalypse happened, 100% the artisan is more valuable. The plumber, the framer, the electrician, the engineer, they produce real, tangible, perceptible value. But at the same time, in our modern economy and the way that money moves, we have the opportunity to make money by leveraging our natural inclinations towards communication and relating to people and using emotions and just learning about all these different aspects of human psychology so that we can have a phone call for half an hour or an hour and we can walk away from it $500, $1,000, $3,000, even $10,000 wealthier than we were before that. If you have that kind of opportunity, it's hard to pass it up. So, coming full circle on this, I thought to myself, is this guy really that much better? Even if he is making a little bit more money than me, even if he does have a nice car and he's got a girlfriend and all this stuff, does that make him better than me? No, it doesn't. And that might even sound delusional. But here's the thing. If you don't start thinking that you're the best right now, if you don't start believing in yourself and telling yourself, no matter how out of this world, how foolish it might sound out loud to others, even to yourself, how is it even going to happen for you? Because think back to when you were a kid. You played with your toys, you put on a costume for Halloween, you pretended. And you felt like you were that superhero. You felt like you were a cop. You felt like you were Batman, whatever it is. The same principle applies in adulthood too. You kind of got to pretend. You got to be delusional to an extent and pretend that you are that person, you are in that position, you are possessing the qualities and the skills and the attributes that would make the winner. And that's how you get them. That's how you develop them. Sounds super woo-woo. Take it or leave it. But if there's one pattern I've noticed amongst the highest performers, it's that delusional kind of confidence. Because if you're not going to step up for yourself, and if you're not going to choose yourself and say, despite the fact that I am XYZ, or that I am not ABC, I am not a former athlete, I am not a bro, I am not an all-American jock type, despite the fact that, in your case, maybe English is not your first language, you're not from a developed country, whatever it is, despite all that, you can still be great. If you don't believe that, no one else is going to believe it. It's that simple.